The case of McDonald versus Chicago in 2010 is a landmark decision made by the Supreme Court of the United States. It found the right of an individual to keep and bear arms as protected under the Second Amendment through due process clause of the 14th Amendment against the states. This decision was a follow-up to the confusion created by District of Columbia versus Heller, which established that bearing arms is not limited to militia-related purposes, but that the possession of firearms are still subject to regulation. Background: McDonald felt unsafe in his neighborhood in Chicago with reoccurring incidents of robberies and theft. Therefore, he wanted to own his own handgun for home defense. But Chicago had created such strict rules to get certification for its possession that it was not legally possible to own handguns. Therefore, he joined 3 other Chicago residents to file this lawsuit. Ruling: on June 28, 2010, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, held that the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause allows the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms for the purpose of self-defense to be applied to the states by incorporation. Reasoning: the Bill of Rights, as originally conceived, only applied to the federal government, not the states. Over time, however, many of the rights in the Bill of Rights have been deemed applicable to the states by incorporation under the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause. Based on the court's view of legal history, the right to keep and bear arms was first to protect the states from federal military intrusion. However, history indicates that self-defense was the central component of the Second Amendment. Accordingly, because the right to keep and bear arms is viewed as fundamental and deeply rooted in the United States, the Second Amendment should also be deemed applicable to the states. Significance: the more immediate impact of this case was the changes cities had to make to allow the possession of handguns, which was loosening the regulations and allowing certifications to pass. Long-term, McDonald versus Chicago follows up on the conservative view of the Second Amendment discussed in Heller. This case furthered the conversation between Justice Stevens, who believed in the living Constitution, versus Justice Scalia, who stuck to his originalist approach. Lastly, it brought attention to the bigger issue of gun rights.